This is a classic 2v2 with some very good players. We got the little one, is Cybern. On his team, he's got SchloobeR, who's Seraphim. He's going to be taking on Aeon player Araton and Horrlod, so Cybern for Horrlod. This is Arctic, so 4 symmetric spots, some civs in the middle. Quite a bit of mass protected by T1 PDs. Speed this up a little bit. So let's see, it looks like everybody has gone land the first factory, and the mass extractors here are pretty much spread out, so you gotta walk to them. So you got some early raiders coming out for TheLittleOne. You see some hunters. The other players don't seem to be making raiders at this point, just first 2 NGs for all other players. You see this hunter is going to be looking for expanding NGs. See a plan for some power, no second factors. Now we see some flares from Araton, multiple flares going to this position. Seen a tank from SchloobeR going there. And it looks like a PD, a very early plan for PD from SchloobeR, is to cut off this choke point. We see a few early scouts from Horrlod, so you may have missed this hunter from the TheLittleOne. Now we see this NG. He's going to move in directly into this hunter. It is protected by a mantis, so it's a tank versus a assault bot. So some nice micro from the TheLittleOne. He avoids the mantis. That goes directly into base. Finally the hunter is killed. We see another group, a hunter plus a scout. Forces a scout back. Elsewhere we see a tank and a Selene from SchloobeR being aggressive, killing off an NG that was working on the factory. Really inexcusable not to have that protected. And actually a tank from SchloobeR wandering off quite far. Might get some more NGs. You see an Aurora chasing it. Auroras are much slower than other tanks. See a mantis here. It's going to be looking for this tank from SchloobeR. See a few hunters from TheLittleOne waiting, probably for a scout, so they know what to do. A pretty aggressive ACU from Horrlod just standing there, so not that aggressive anymore. Should be moving in, probably waiting for Artie to take out this PD, or should be making a factory in this area so he can get an Artie. We see SchloobeR here working on the factory. He's probably going to make some Artie here. And a hunter from Araton trying to take on an ACU. And the ACU from Araton actually doing something strange, not going to the middle. A very early gesture from the TheLittleOne. So it's the first attacking air unit we've seen. He's going to go after the NGs in Horrlod's base. That's going to be very devastating. And it looks like the top team have total air domination. We see both SchloobeR and the TheLittleOne making air. We see a lot of flak coming out. So it's a 5-kill jester. It did his job. It's going to avoid the flak. It's going to look for NGs to kill in Araton's base. So Horrlod, realizing the TheLittleOne is going mostly air, has pushed his units up, but there's another jester waiting. He shouldn't just be standing there. They should be more aggressive. Very surprising, the minute 5 coming up on 6, nobody's gone into the middle. And now this ACU from Araton is being very aggressive. I guess that's a nice counter to people going to the middle. You just send your base around. That's an 8-kill jester now. Probably took out a couple NGs in Araton's base. But the TheLittleOne making those gestures really has no ground whatsoever. And now Horrlod making units really close to his base is going to get a factory. And now a jester versus an ACU. We see another jester. Now the ACU gets some stationary anti-air. This jester really needs to run. 8-kill jester just gets out in time. And now we see more jester versus ACU. Should see some flak coming out of this factory. So 3 jesters versus an ACU. So the bottom team completely neglecting air, having to make a lot of flak. And the TheLittleOne neglecting ground. The Horrlod going down to a 6k health. Now he's going to make some more flak, some stationary flak, forces jesters away. pretty big land force. Now this right here is very interesting with a whole bunch of cheap units looking like an army. Little one using a fake army to prevent Harold from thinking about attacking. Now we're seeing multiple, now 4 jesters from the little one, losing a few of them to this flak. Now it looks like the little one's ACU's got the gun upgrade. She's going to run through this force, which is mostly flat, can't shoot back. More jesters doing damage from the little one, 13 kills on 1. Still, now we're seeing a first interceptor from Harold. They're going to have to work pretty hard to build up an air force. Actually, we do see some air force from Araton, so it looks like Araton has taken air back from SchloobeR. And here we see the little one still standing there with a fake army. But he's got a really good ACU, and Harold is not even thinking about fighting, he's just going to run away. So that's very interesting strategy from the little one. Now we see 4 jesters going after NGs. Now we see a few interceptors finally from Harold. They're going to knock these jesters down. Still a guy to 15 kill jester, a 4 kill. Going to go back into the base, going after mass extractors. We see SchloobeR is going to go directly into Araton's base, and Araton is at SchloobeR's base. So both players being very aggressive. Finally we see a jester come in to the middle. He is shot down by Araton. This is minute 10 and nobody has gone in here yet. The little one continues to roll through with his fake army. Using his gun upgrade to outrange the PD. He's going to go into the middle first. He's going to get a lot of mass. We see SchloobeR here appears to be using restoration field, so this is an old game. This is something that's a little overpowered and usually not used anymore. Now we've got Araton basically wiping out SchloobeR's base, and SchloobeR's having a little more trouble trying to wipe out Araton's base. So we see SchloobeR, the little one's ally, doesn't seem to be doing as well. And we see a very large force here, about 20 tanks from Harold. He could be thinking about moving into the middle. The little one just has a fake army and the ACU. So the destruction of SchloobeR's base is nearly complete. SchloobeR is still attacking some PDs. See T1 PDs planned, some more T1 PDs from Araton. Now it's 57 kills, so a pretty strong ACU. Getting bombed by T1 bombers. Another jester from the little one gets knocked down. Now we're going to see this fight between the little one and his fake army, so you probably should keep this back so it doesn't get instantly destroyed. Now 53 kills for the little one. Probably lead with the ACU, so this is a mistake from Harold not to have his ACU along with his army. This will just be a whole bunch of kills for the little one's ACU. And actually we see T2 from the little one just in time. Most likely the little one could deal with this by himself, but now finally the lone ACU from SchloobeR gets destroyed. So now this is a 2v1. Araton versus Araton and Harold versus the little one. Now the little one's getting a little bit of trouble. 74 kills, 75. Still got a few hoplites. He got 5 hoplites. Pretty much no danger though. He's got the gun upgrade, so he should be able to take out this army. Still see this NG from the little one. Most likely got a whole bunch of mass at this point. We got some units from Araton moving in. So the little one have to deal with 2 different ground forces. We do see he's got the T2. He completely cleaned up. We got a second wave coming in from Harold. Is also going to get wiped out. 97 kills from the little one. If we look at his base, he's got a T2 factory, T2 air, and T2 ground. Most of the NGs are now on T2 air. He's going to try to get air back. Looks like he's pushing back against Harold's T1 army. Harold's got it split into 2 pieces. He's going to move sideways, try to flank the little one's base. The little one can't go too far away from his base because now we got Araton's T1 force, a bunch of Auroras. Really all underpowered against these T2 hoplites. They got the range on them. Some jesters from Harold are going to get wiped out quite quickly by the little one's air. We do see some T2 gunships at this point. And now the hoplites are pushing back against Araton, the little one, doing very good against two players. I see these T2 gunships taking over, taking out Araton's army, trying to sneak up from behind. Now the little one has got 108 kills. Thinking about moving in on Horrlod's base. Now we see T2 gunships and hoplites from the little one. Got a lot of T1 flak here, just going to get wiped out pretty quick. And Araton is in a lot of trouble. He's got absolutely no air with 4 gunships attacking him. More gunships coming in. We see Horrlod's got a small army here that he's not using. We got a very fake army, just a single hunter with a whole bunch of scouts as he's going to oppose it. Plus it looks like some hoplites moving in their area as well. Now we see Araton basically can't do anything. Has no air force and is going to pay the price. He had 21 kills at the end. Now we see some units from Araton. Now we see Araton gives his units, and the little one at 120 kills in his ACU is going to, oh, he's actually going to be aggressive and he's going to move forward. And there goes the ACU. Looks like the little one saved a lot of his gunships from this explosion. He can do some raiding on this side base, SchloobeR's old base. The little one himself is pushing up against his T1 force from Horrlod. It's very surprising. Horrlod is just getting T2. He's getting some T2 tanks. And we see this Mantis running around killing absolutely nothing. They should be moving in, being aggressive against the little one's main base. Now we see the little one retreating, 140 kills now. And T2 gunships. Looks like Horrlod actually does have an air force. So he's able to protect against these T2 gunships from the little one. You also see some T2 flak, so that's a very good counter to gunships for Horrlod in the corner. A lot of units to reclaim. Surprising these factories are paused. Should get some NGs and get this mass. The little one actually going down quite low in health. There, see some T2 here. Not 169 kills. For whatever reason, Horrlod is not chasing. We see a wall being constructed by the little one to impede the progress of this army. We do see some T3. These are bricks. Extremely good ground units from the little one. Now this brick is really going to push things back. The little one turns around, is going to get a lot more kills, 173 kills already. See a fight over air between Horrlod and the little one. Most likely going to be taken by the little one. Although no, Horrlod does have quite a few planes in the area, but 1 or 2 flak will fix that. So we see multiple bricks coming out now. This does force Horrlod to retreat. He is going for T3. It's going to take him a little while to get T3. Still, oh yeah, now we see T2 gunships coming out for Horrlod in the side base. A lot of mass just sitting there. Now the little one's pushing. A few loyalists, a few bricks. The T3 force is just going through this T1, T2 force from Horrlod very easily. The little one's still being very aggressive with his ACU. Only upgrade seems to be the gun. It's kind of dangerous at this point in the game with walking around at 7k health. We do see a few mercies from Horrlod. These are suicide bombers, so if you don't have good air protection, you're very vulnerable. And now we see these bricks. Where is Horrlod's ACU? That's the question. Horrlod's ACU has run away into the woods. He does not want to deal with his T3 force. So the little one wiping out, or in the process of wiping out Horrlod's main base, gets sniped by some mercies. So being very aggressive without enough air force, loses the Tech 2 Aeon. So very well played by everyone here, especially the little one, but a little careless, and a nice snipe from Horrlod.